But you don't know this virus.
Hold on.
But you don't.
Let's see.
But you don't know this virus. It's new, it's different. It mutates and goes in different directions with a different strain of itself. So whether I'm present or absent, the Executive Council of the Nation of Islam must call our scientists. Come and let's sit down. Our virologists, our epidemiologists, those of us who know the science. We cannot let them bring anything to us that we don't dissect.
And here we sit still dissecting, interjecting, introducing everything it takes to help our peoples.
That's it, Brother Lau. That's it, Brother Lau. Now listen, you know I do a click. Thursday talk. All right, it's Thursday. Yes, we are here. We are back. You know, I had to reflect. Just really one quick question. I mean, not a quick question, but a really comment from last week. That was an awesome show we had last week, and it's only going to get even better this evening. So, audience, as you're coming in, like, share. We need your support.
You know
Absolutely.
that. Do your part.
That's right. Do your part. You know what I mean? Go bring a friend. Like I said, your sister, your auntie, you know what I mean? Your TT, your TO, whatever
Get
name.
them little babies today too. Them little babies too.
Get the babies too.
And
really,
the people,
really.
the ones who getting on your nerves, tell them you got something for them right here tonight. them ones right there. Yeah.
Can I roll mine in the room while we on? No,
right on the side, right
on the sideline, so that everybody can see them driving me crazy. Okay, all right. I digress. Anyway, so thank everyone. Thank you. Come on in. We want to welcome everyone in. Greetings. Good evening. Assalamu alaikum to our Muslim family. We're so happy to have you back. You know, it's always a joy for me. I love doing what I do. I love introducing. I love having the conversations with our guests. I love our 7th Region Coalition team that we always will give a shout out to. That's right. All right. As Sister Kalila is in the chat. See,
right.
she got a double.
I'm going at it.
Tree 4, 5 shots, okay, in the show. Okay. So anyway, I thank the team. I thank us again. I thank us all for what we do and what we bring to the table every single week. And we're really being very mindful of what we're bringing to you all. We're not just pulling stuff out of the air. We're pulling stuff that you can actually use.
Right.
Okay. And so a lot of things are going on. And so, Brother Lau, Sister Kalila, we know everybody needs something right now. There's so much going on, and we got to get a grip of this thing, or we're not going to make it. So, I am your sister Michelle. I'm your moderator for this evening Thursday Night Talks.
Hostess with the mostest. Give us some love, family.
Yes.
So listen, before I pass it off to Brother Lau, again, before I leave y'all, don't have me talk to y'all again. You gotta like and share.
Go get your people.
Okay? Go get your
run around here last week, waiting to the last minute to get their peoples in because it got good for them. Get them in early.
Get him in early. That's right, Brother Lau. So anyway, as I pass the baton to Brother Lau, he will go to Sister Kalila, and we have a special guest this evening. If you were following us, you saw, but I won't say anything more, and I will let her come on when Brother Lau will do the introductions. But Brother Lau, I will hand it to you so you can take it over. I'm going up that.
We good. And we're off. What a beautiful team. First of all, y'all give some love to this beautiful team. Running this beautiful, beautiful race. Surely not to the swift, but to those who endure to the end.
That's right.
Welcome to the 7th Region Coalition Thursday Night Talks. You know how we like to do, family. Assalamu alaikum to our Muslim brothers and sisters. Praise the Lord to our Christian brothers and sisters. Ungawa Black Power to our Black revolutionaries, and to all you beautiful peace and freedom loving people across the world. We welcome you to Thursday Night Talks. And you probably want to know some more about the 7th Region Coalition, but as Sister Michelle said earlier, you better go back and look at some of those former shows so you can see how this thing really goes. But tonight is a very, very special night, dear family. You know, and I just have to say, for those of you who are wondering, well, what is this 7th Region Coalition? Think about a people, I don't know, they might be in some perilous times like a pandemic. Who are traveling on a ship with mixed directions and waves and storms and false captains and all kinds of stuff going on, right?
Right.
We want to make sure you get the proper light. So think about that lighthouse that can properly guide those beautiful, loving people. And yes, I'm talking about you. We love you. We do.
That's
to
right.
a safe place as we conquer these storms that are amidst us right now. And I'm just telling you, family, what a powerful program we have for you tonight. Some of you already saw the advertisement. Don't run something that many of you have been running from all of your days, because you're going to find out you have more in common with it than you really do. And what a beautiful, beautiful need. And so as I prepare to pass to Sister Kalila, I just want to remind you, brothers and sisters, that it is your duty and your obligation. Get your peoples right now. You get your peoples, right? No, you're going to come and get us later to try to deal with them later on after all the stuff go wrong. No, go get them now so the stuff can go right. Trust me, they will thank you tremendously. And so I'm going to pause right there, and I'm going to go ahead and pass it to my beloved sister, Sister Kalila Muhammad.
The only reason I knew how to do it right, because I have to think opposite. You know,
he's over there, so I'm going over there.
Look, I have to think opposite. So, first of all, I got to start off in the most holy name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, always bearing witness that there is no God but Allah, Muhammad is his messenger. I would like to greet my brothers and sisters and family in the greeting words of peace in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum. And listen, I am so excited about this topic. The reason why I'm so excited about this topic is because this will be a learning experience for me. I know that I always often use the term, well, we need to pray and meditate. But we're going to learn and kind of dive into what that means. Because people be like, oh, child, I had to meditate on that. But what does that mean? It's certain levels to the meditation process. So I'm so excited. I just want to, because I want to learn the proper way of meditating, but I also want to learn how the myths and the stigma of how people always talk about, oh, well, you're supposed to clear your mind, or you don't supposed to clear your mind, or you supposed to close everybody out.
Don't do that.
Right. It's like, what do I do?
No, do it that
right.
way.
It's like,
do it that way.
Just forget about it, but we are going to learn a lot of good and beautiful information. So please stay tuned, and please, again, like and share. I strongly suggest it, because we definitely need meditation now.
And y'all know that. We need meditation. Now watch this, right? Watch this now. We're going to bring it right on home for you with this one here, right? Look, why black folks scared of everything that we need?
Right. That is true.
Come on now.
You need some meditation. Instead, you getting medication. But we ain't going there right now. We ain't going there right now. We ain't going there right now. We're not going to go there. But what we are saying to you is, we have someone that's going to be with us tonight that looks just like you. That's going to have a beautiful conversation about the power and the practice of meditation, and how we say, how we used to say back in the old day. I'm not going to say it because they might bleep me out here. Free your what will follow. But, but think about it. Free your mind, and let's just say the rest will follow. And I know a lot of people have apprehension when it comes to when you hear the word meditation and so forth. But we have a very powerful, powerful, powerful guest. And you know what I think would be a great thing to do before we bring our beloved sister on, Sister Kalila?
Yes.
The piece where we're talking about debunking some of those myths.
Right.
This is a great introduction. If we can pull that up, and family, if you can listen to this for about 3.5 minutes, and don't just listen, actually participate, because you know,
Oh,
brother man gonna take you a couple spaces. And
he said,
because Sister clearly, you said it so clearly, there's so many myths around what is it and
Right.
so forth. And then after we hear that, I'm gonna read this beautiful bio of this beautiful sister who's going to take us on a journey this evening. So if you can prepare that video now, Sister Kalila, and
Yes.
then right after that, I'm going to be introducing, I'm going to let some of you all know who she is, at least right now, so you can go tell some of your peoples, particularly if you from Miami. I'm gonna tell you who she is right now, right? Because some of y'all know Retha Boone 5. I know you say, wait a minute, that sounds like, is that the advisory, the Black Advisory Committee? What's going on? But she does so much more. You're going to be so impressed. So before we do that, Sister Kalila, if we can pull up that debunking piece, and we're going to play the first 3 to 4 minutes of it, and then we're going to bring our beloved sister on. So family, get your people meditation. No, not medication. Meditation. All right.
Meditation, mindfulness.
All right. And I am going to start this right now for you.
So check yourself out and think about yourself as he goes through this initial piece here, family. And remember, go get your peoples.
Go get your peoples. And by the way, while you're getting your peoples, just remember, this is going to make you a whole lot better after this whole show is over. Just letting you know that.
For about 15 years, starting up. Raise your hand if you have meditated with success. A lot of hands dropped. Okay. Let's just be honest. Meditation has a huge image problem. And I've been in the meditation space for about 15 years, starting off as a practitioner. And then I apprenticed my teacher, my meditation master, for many years. And for the last 8 years, I have been traveling around the world to different cities, teaching people from all walks of life, the basic mechanics, the physiology, and the biology of meditation. And the general consensus is my life would definitely be better if I meditated, but it's too hard. I can't quiet my mind. I can't sit still long enough. I don't have the time. So I want to shed some light onto what I feel are the 5 most common meditation myths in our society. And I want to give you guys some tips that will help make your meditation practice instantly more enjoyable. And I want to show you how you can use meditation to literally create more time to be more productive and, of course, to change the world. But first, I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to imagine in your mind's eye a white polar bear. And hold your attention on this white polar bear in your imagination. And then open the eyes. Okay. Raise your hand if you got distracted and you thought about something other than a white polar bear at any time. Now, that was about half the room. Close your eyes again. And this time I want you to let your mind roam free. And you can think about anything you want to think about, as long as it's not about a white polar bear. Whatever you do, do not think about a white polar bear. It's very important. Go. Okay. Open your eyes. Raise your hand if you accidentally thought about a white polar bear. Raise your other hand if you thought about it a lot. Almost everyone. And that brings us to our first myth that I want to talk about, which is that I'm a bad meditator if I can't quiet my mind.
So, wow, what an introduction.
Yeah.
White polar bear, thinking about it, not thinking about it, but it's just real, family. And so I couldn't think of a better way for us to kind of come around something that, I mean, last time I checked, there's still a lot of chaos going on in the world. Is that right?
That's right.
Last time I checked. So what I want us to do right now, Sister Kalila,
Yes.
Can you bring up our beautiful sister? Because I want them to see her while I am reading this bio.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, yes, free your mind and the rest will follow. We want to introduce you to, it's not Aretha. No, not Aretha. It's Retha. And as our sister says it, it's Retha without the A, without the voice, and without the money. Our beloved sister, Retha S. Boomfly. She currently is the co-owner of Healing Leaf in Miami, a holistically based business catering to health conscious individuals. The business model promotes taking you to a centered and peaceful ecosystem. Through this business venture, Retha and her partner, Elizabeth Mauve, they promoted health and wellness through providing what's called, you ready? Nutraceuticals. Not pharmaceuticals, nutraceuticals, organically based products as composed to those that are pharmaceutically based. And she also is a mindfulness facilitator through the Mindful School based in Emeryville, California. And through her Mindfulness Matters platform, she's made presentations to a number of public and private organizations, including one you're talking to right now with the 7th Region Coalition, and the Greater Miami Convention and Business Bureau Multicultural Tourism and Development Team, Purdue Global University, the City of Miami Gardens, Women's Empowerment Conference, and Dream Catchers, and the Souls Worldwide Wellness Conference. Retha holds a bachelor's in arts from the University of Miami, a master's in educational leadership from Nova Southeastern University, and she's a graduate of the Greater Miami Chamber of Commerce Leadership Miami program and a member of the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce and the Black Hospitality Initiative, which provides educational and professional opportunities for African Americans throughout the greater Miami-Dade County and business area. Listen, I'll say this, and lastly, she's also a very, very beautiful and caring, dedicated sister. And I did not even know. I knew her from the work that she did in the county with the Black Affairs, but I remember when this sister, who we're presenting to you right now, we were in a room full of other people that didn't look like us, but for some very beautiful reasons, just like this. Brothers and sisters, let's give it up for our beloved sister, Retha. Boom. Hi. Welcome, sister. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Can everybody hear me?
We can
Yes,
hear you
yes,
so
we certainly
beautifully well.
can.
Perfect.
So-
Perfect. Yeah.
So we want to thank you. We want to thank you, Retha, for coming on the show. And we just for a few minutes, if you could just give us a little bit of your intro, just about you, and just a little bit about you. And then we got some questions for you, but we just definitely want to hear about, from you for just a few minutes, so that the audience can get to know you.
Well, I was trying to figure out who Brother Lau was talking about when he made that introduction. I'm like, oh, really? She got it like that? Most of it is true. I do work for the county government, but I want to say in 2016, I have a girlfriend who contacted me who said, your life is crazy like mine, and I want you to look into this practice called mindfulness. And of course, I'm dashing around. I got all these things going on. I have all these projects. I'm cooking all these pots. And I said, I don't have time for that. And so she kind of like begged me. She said, listen, she said, you can take this class online, and it's called the Introduction to Mindfulness. What mindfulness? Man, I got time for that stuff. Mind what? My mind is already gone to all these different places. So anyway, she stayed on me like really hard. So finally I said, okay, I'm going to do it. So I did. I took the introduction course. And of course, course one, I was kind of like, yeah, fill out all the blanks. Okay, I got this right, whatever. And so when I finished, she contacted me and said, there's part 2. And I said, okay, all right, Introduction 101. Now we go to 102. And one of the lessons that they asked us to do is I was driving in Miami traffic. You all do the same, so
Ooh.
about to say.
Absolutely.
How many times has someone cut you off and your very first inclination is to either drive fast and try to catch up with them and pass them, or you want to, since it's not legal, you want to just hurt them. And then you say, so what had happened is they had given us an example of how to deal with frustrating situations. And it was dealing with traffic. And as I pulled into traffic, someone came and they cut me off, and they were so rude with it. The lesson that day dealt with how not to allow someone else to control your day. So I'm on my way into the office, and already I'm thinking I'm pissed. I'm going to catch up. And the lesson was, why are you letting them dictate the rest of your commute into the office based on their stupidity, if you want to call it that?
Right.
And I thought, you know what? That made a lot of sense. Maybe this mindfulness does have something to do, So that was kind of like my brief introduction to mindfulness.
Wow.
Amazing.
Wow.
Well,
listening to that.
I was going to say, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm just listening to that, right? Because brothers and sisters, everybody can relate to that.
Right. Absolutely.
And you know what? Before I even go into the question about, what is meditation and so forth, from your experience now in practicing mindfulness and being in a wellness community and going on, I don't know, what is it? The second, the third, the fourth year of the pandemic? I'm losing count. What year is it?
I know.
Well, right.
This is like about 3 years in now,
So if you look at that as a backdrop, right? Mm-hmm. And let's even bring a little microscope in and look at some Black folk that look like us. Why is such a study and a practice needed in this time right now for our people?
Well, I'll put it this way. Once I finished the second segment, she convinced me to actually do a year-long study. About a month before I was due to go out to do the study, because I had to do, at the beginning of the study, you have to do a week-long retreat, and it's in a different city. So as I was getting ready to leave, I was put in a position of being a caretaker for my elderly mother. I became a caretaker, and anyone who goes through that, let me tell you, my hat's off to you, kudos, the whole 9 yards, because you know that it is not easy. You are going to be taking care of someone who is, first of all, going to fight you because they're losing their independence. It's just a long journey. So as I decided to go on that, right about then was when I decided, as opposed to doing it from a teaching standpoint, from the school perspective, I would do it from a caretaker perspective. And so I went on a year-long journey. And the very first time I got up there, I'm in Colorado in a place called Red Feather Lakes. And the very first thing they did was, when we flew into Denver, they put us on, we were going to get on a bus. I missed the bus. My flight delayed, Yes. I see someone say they take care of their father. And so I missed, and I had to get someone to take care of her while I was gone. This was like my first week. So I'm worried. And then I get there, I missed the bus. I had to find transportation. It's like 5 miles up in the mountains. The very first thing they did was tell us we had to turn our phones in. What are you talking about, Willis? We had to do silence for like 24 hours. And I kept wondering, what am I doing here? Did I really sign up for this? I'm worried about all the things that are going on back at home, and I can't even call anybody. Nobody can call me.
Wow.
But while we were doing something called silent meditation walk, I ended up getting sick because I ate something, and I went to the little cafeteria and I drank some tea. And on the little thing, there was a tea bag, and I pulled the tea bag. There's like a little message on it. And that message said, "It is the mind that makes the body."
Oh, but Sister Rita, wait a minute. My headset just went out when you said that. It does that from time. What you just said?
It does, Rita. It goes out.
Yeah, it goes out and in all the time. When good information comes through.
Right. I got I got it.
What that tea bag say?
Actually, it was on a little tea bag, and I kept that. I kept it. I have it in my house, and it was a message from Sojourner Truth. Now you got to understand something. I go to this thing, and there were not a lot of people who look like me. Okay, out of a class of about 50, there may have been 5, and we were all looking at each other like, "You here too? Yeah, I'm here too." You know, and we're doing this silent meditation walk, and then they told us, they said, "Do not go out after dark because you're up in the mountains, and it's like this campsite, and there's animals outside." And I'm like, I know, I gotta be nuts. But when I read that, it said it is the Sojourner Truth. And it said it is the mind that makes the body. And it was then that I knew that I was in the place that I needed to be.
Wow.
Wow.
That reminds me of what you said, Sister Kalila. You've been wondering about, you know, what this is, what it's not. What is meditation? What is not meditation?
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
it was very difficult for me. It was very difficult for me, first of all, to sit in a room with a room full of strangers and be in absolute silence for we started out maybe 15 minutes. So the very first day I'm sitting there and I'm like, first of all, I don't have a clock. I don't have a watch on because we can't have watches. So I don't know what kind of time. They're telling the time and everything. And I'm like, I'm patting my foot I wish this was over. Well, after a while, my thoughts started to kind of calm down and settle back. And I thought, this isn't so bad. And I'm getting accustomed to the silence. I'm listening to what's going on inside of me, as opposed to all of the stuff that's going on around me. And I thought, this is what meditation is, because this is not something that I'm accustomed to. We pray, but we don't meditate on a formal level. So I started saying, maybe there's something to this, in addition to what Sojourner Truth had just told me the day before. And I started sitting and listening to what was going on inside of me and paying attention and meditation, and found that I was calm. I didn't worry as much. And I started getting into the practice of what they call mindful watching and mindful walking. I would walk out into the forest and I would look at the trees and I would feel comfortable. I would see the sunlight, and I began to appreciate and slow down and think about some of the things that that were going on around me.
Wow, what a journey.
I was going to say, it's popping. It's popping. I love meditation. I learned about meditation many, many years ago. And yeah, it is very difficult. It was very difficult for me in the beginning. I didn't understand it. And I'm sure the people that you deal with don't understand it and don't really know the benefits of it, right? Not until you learn a little bit more about it and you understand it and you go through the studies. But I wanted, just a little bit off, but I wanted you to talk about, because as people are coming in, so many people are going through a lot. You have the pandemic, you got other stuff that was happening before the pandemic, a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. People have been locked in their homes, people are losing their jobs. So the stress, the anxiety is at its height.
Yeah, it's definitely at a peak. When you think about what we're going on, and especially now, when you're dealing with this pandemic, a lot of people really don't feel that they have a choice of what's happening to them, which sometimes is true. However, you can respond to it and you can control how you respond to it. And then basically that's what, the meditation part of it is. When I got into it also during that year's study, I looked at it from the standpoint of a medical perspective. And I learned about someone, and it's funny because that's why Brother Lyle and I ran into each other, Dr. John Kabat-Zinn. in 1979, he started recruiting chronically ill patients who were not responding well to participate in an 8-week, what he called a stress reduction program, which we now call mindfulness-based stress reduction. And since then, research has mounted demonstrating how mindfulness-based interventions improve your mental and your physical health, because compared to other psychological intervention, mindfulness, he describes it as awareness that arises through paying attention on purpose in the present moment, non-judgmentally. And it's about knowing what's on your mind and being able to be in control of it. While doing my research I found that there was a wealth of information about mindfulness programs in schools. For example, I learned that some people have been working with neuroscientists, cognitive psychologists, and educators to develop mindfulness curriculum for schools. So we do kind of introduce that in schools. And I was thrilled to find out that the research reported that mindfulness education has proven beneficial. It increases optimism and happiness in classrooms. It decreases bullying and aggression and increases compassion and empathy for others. And it helps the students to resolve conflicts. That also applies to people. And I saw where some people were making comments that they were taking care of their parents. I did that for about 3.5 years, and it was not easy. Between juggling, between trying to work, between making absolutely sure that their needs are covered, the medical expenses, the taking the care, the products that you need to do that, it is not easy. And one of the things that I developed was like a wheel that said, number one, you cannot do this alone. Number two, you have to develop a team. So if you have a team of people that you can rely on and who can help you, whether they be relatives, there are other projects and there are other things available in the community. For example, through the Community Action Human Services Division, you find people who can come and just sit and keep them company. You have someone through the Medicaid and through all of the programs that can come and help you with those type of issues, depending on what you need. And one of the things that I was very fortunate, I put together a really, really good team that was able to help me provide 24-hour care. And not only that, that was beneficial to me and not overwhelming, so that everybody kind of shared, as opposed to one person being responsible for that. Even though I was primarily responsible, I had team members, and it's very, very important to develop a team.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I'm sorry. I just want to say it was very timely. It was very, very timely. Hey, I'm sorry.
No. Like I told, when we decided, Sister Michelle actually brung this tutorial or this element to our coalition. And what I told them was, this is going to be informative to me. So that's why I'm silent, because I'm studying, I'm learning, right? And what you're saying is touching home. I know definitely for Sister Michelle, because she takes care of her father, and I too take care of my mother. And I know that meditation is definitely something that we have to practice before we lose our mind. Rita, I'm just being honest. Let's talk about the mind.
That part right there.
Yeah, it's funny because, you have to understand something. What a lot of people do not realize is that sometimes the caretaker goes before the person that you're taking care of, because you are so stressed out about it and not even realizing. And I call that putting on the airline rule. That's like, you got to put on your life jacket, you got to put your air hose on, because
y'all listening now, huh?
You cannot do it alone, number one, and number two, you're going to burn yourself out, and you're going to become very resentful of that person. You're looking at that person who, particularly if it's your mother and your father, they took care of you, So therefore, you are now placed in a position of being their caretaker. And there's resentment. And I'm just going to be honest. There's
Come on.
resentment all around. First of all, because I've got to rely on you, you know, and then two, they are not accustomed to being a person that relies on someone else. So their individual freedom is taken away from them. And so you have to empathize with them. But in the interim, you have to take care of yourself, because if you don't, guess what? You're not going to be effective. You're not going to be there for them. And it's actually going to be more detrimental to you than it is to them.
Wow.
Listen, but before you go any further with, I'm excited. I'm sorry.
I think this is for you guys as opposed to anybody else.
This is a first-line chat.
Really?
And then on top of everything else, not to downplay the fact that what we're going through a global pandemic, but let's take into consideration that this is the perfect opportunity to hit the reset button.
My headset did it again. It's the perfect time to do what?
What you choose to do at this point is really up to you. You can either choose to wallow in it, or you can take this opportunity to make the necessary adjustments to make your lives better. Okay? Because if you're not familiar with the practice of mindfulness, I'm telling you, it saved me. When I sat in on one of the meditation projects and they said to me, you know, they said namaste, you know, and I would make jokes about it. You know, I would say namaste my behind at home. You know, I'm not gonna get out there and try to catch whatever is going on out there. You see, there's things that are going on that we know absolutely nothing about, that we have to really become extremely self-reliant, and to make absolutely sure that we take care of ourselves both physically and emotionally. Because if not, you do not have another lifeline other than the one that you have to grab on for yourself. So you
Let's
have
pause
to
right there for a minute, Sister Rita, because it's confession time. Everybody on here, we already confessed. Even brother Tony popped up and said, "Wow!"
I just popped up, brother.
Right? So, no, confession time, family. Confession for all of you all who are listening right now. How many? Look, confession time. How many of you know you don't take care of you like you need to be taken care of?
Right.
Confession time. How many of us know right now that we're dealing with things and we're not really dealing with them? So let's not pretend.
Right.
Let's not pretend, family, when we have this right at our disposal.
Right.
You know, Sister Michelle, I know you wanted to say something before we move forward. I didn't want to interfere with that.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Brother Lau. So I wanted to say to Rita, mindfulness and the mind and body connection. Can you talk about that? Because we know that you gave us some examples, but there is such a unique connection, because I tried to do, and I got back into the practice of it. I try to spend at least, you know, after I pray, I try to do about 20, maybe 25 minutes of just meditation. And it usually takes me about 10 minutes to settle my mind down. Sometimes a little longer, depending on what happened the day before. But I just try to not think of anything, empty out my mind. And then I do feel this level of, you know, but talk about that, because I'm, you know, you were starting to go into it, but I want the audience to really understand being mindful and what the body connection does when you are mindful of it, and may keep us away from, you know, depression, anxiety, stress, health issues, eating disorders, that type of thing.
The best way that I can describe it is saying, if something happens to you, and if you haven't healed it, every time you think about a negative event that happened to you, whether it's in your past or whatever, your body produces the exact same chemicals in the body as when it happened.
Mm.
means that you relive the experience hundreds of times simply because you have not let it go. So when these things happen, your body excretes, your mind takes you there, but your body reacts. So there's a definite cooperation, if you want to call it, a collaboration. Just like Sojourner Truth said, it is the mind that makes the body. Okay. So if we keep going through these things and repeating it over and over and over in our minds, and we reliving, it's just like I said, drinking poison and hoping that it'll kill the person that you hate is self-destructive. So you don't want to keep pushing that and reliving those negative experiences, because if you do, what happens, it poisons your system. Okay. Right. Now that's what I said to those kids when I talked to them. I said, now that doesn't mean you got to be a punk. That doesn't mean I'm being real. I'm being me. Okay. Don't be a punk. Don't let people just run over you and you say, no, I'm gonna stay, I'm gonna quiet. No.
But you ain't heard that before.
You can be positive, but you can also let them know that they are not in control of you and of your body and of your mind. So you have to make up in your mind. It's just like I told you. I remember one time my mom said something to me and it kind of hurt my feelings. And then I had to think about it. I said, I can't hear her. That's abused. Okay. But by the same token, I'm gonna let her know how I feel. So what I said to her was, what you just said, I hope you didn't mean that, because you hurt my feelings. Yes. And she kind of looked at me like, oh, I did? I'm like, yeah. We laughed about it, because then you could laugh about it, because I tell you better laugh at life, because life will laugh at you. So you get these things up and out. I'm not gonna go to bed with all this stuff on my mind. You know what she said to me? I'm gonna cuss her out tomorrow. No.
Wow.
Make sure that you do not go and let it heal it, because if you don't, you will relive it and you get mad all over again. For what?
Right.
I have a question.
That's right.
I have a question because I just got off of a teacher workshop. It was a requirement for me. I'm in the classroom, and like the majority of the teachers that I see them on Zoom, they're like, they're falling to the side by the end of the workshop, and then they looked all angry at me because at the end of the workshop, I'm here dialoguing with the instructor, and I'm all chipper and uptone and everything. Like, where did this man's energy come from? We're just like 3 hours on this 3.5 hours in this workshop, but and a lot of us are losing it right now in schools. Things are not in a very good place in many schools here in Miami-Dade or really across the country. How would you, and we're dealing with limited time in the classroom, how would you incorporate mindfulness in the classroom? A lot of young people coming into the class angry, upset, holding on to things coming from home, holding on to things maybe they experienced in the previous period or during lunchtime or something. How would you recommend incorporating mindfulness in let's say a classroom setting?
It's funny, right before you came on, I talked about some of the kids that I've been working with over the last couple of weeks. And I told them that I was going to, these are young kids. They're like from 3rd to 5th grade, but it kind of works whatever age. And what I tell them is I'm going to give them a superpower. And that superpower is that I'm going to teach you something to deal with whatever happens to you. And with the little ones, I give them what's called a 5 finger. I said, now don't give everybody the middle finger. Give everybody the 5 fingers.
Now, what child don't want a superpower?
See, that's the other thing. You kind of make them laugh, right? So with the 5 finger exercise, here's what happens. You have your 5 fingers and you go up. I don't know, I'm gonna have to move it up. I'm like, okay, you go up, you breathe in, and you breathe out. You breathe in, you breathe out. You breathe in, you breathe out. In, out, in, out. Now, do you remember what you were mad about? Nah, it's
What we
gone.
just talking about?
Leave it
What
alone.
Yeah,
was we just talking about something?
Let it go.
What was this?
That's your
Wow.
your superpower. Your superpower is I'm gonna give you the 5-finger salute. I'm gonna let it go.
Wow.
Make him breathe in and out, get comfortable. And the other thing that I say is I ask them, what are you grateful for? Aren't you grateful for the fact that you do have electricity, that you can come on a Zoom, that you can do something today? You know, because let's think about it. You could be in the dark trying to light a fire. You may not have a telephone. You may not have food. You may not have the food you want, but at least you're not starving. You know,
Right.
so let's kind of what I do to them sometimes is I give them, I said, we're gonna pray the grateful exercise. Tell me what you're grateful for. Don't
There
tell
you
me what
go.
you're mad about. Tell me what you're grateful for. Are you grateful for the fact that you can see me? You can hear me. Okay.
Right.
That's
You
right.
know? So
Wow.
you have to get them to buy in to mindfulness. And I'm going to give you an exercise before it's all over so that you can see you can't teach mindfulness if you can't practice it yourself.
That's right.
What you say now? On that note, because it's all we're receiving right now. If I'm listening, right, and I'm feeling like if I do this, if we do this, it's going to actually produce the best me. It's going to actually produce greatness.
Right.
You know, as a matter of fact, Sister Kalila, could you pull up that Kobe Bryant clip? A lot of brothers and sisters, this is around the 2nd year anniversary of the loss of our good brother and those who were with him. But a lot of people don't know. They think greatness just fall out the sky. Kobe Bryant meditated every day. He meditated every day. And it's about a one minute blurb of him sharing about meditation. And then just have some dialogue after that. But because as I'm listening to them, I'm like, man, if we do this on the 5-finger thing, for those of y'all that got babies, child or something, teach him the 10-finger salute. He might need a little bit more. He or she might need a little bit more time, but this is going to produce great. Can you pull that up, Sister Kalila?
Yes.
Our great brother, Kobe Bryant, speaking on the subject matter.
I'm going to see if
meditation.
I can rewind it.
As opposed to being able to be controlled and dictate the day. Not that you're.
I'm trying to see if I can actually rewind it. Bear with me.
Or you can just
refresh it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to refresh it.
See, this for all you people out there that claim you want to be great. You better put this into your cabinet and meditate.
You can make a rap song, Brother Lau.
I meditate every day. If I don't do it, I feel like I'm constantly chasing the day, as opposed to being able to be controlled and dictate the day. Not that you're, calling the shots on what comes forward, but the fact that I am set and ready for whatever may come my way. I have a calmness about whatever comes my way and a poise. And that comes from starting the morning off with meditation. For me, it's really just listening to my inner self. That's basically it. Like you sit in silence and you just allow these thoughts to come forward, and you get a chance to observe the self. I meditate every day.
Every day, family.
Every day.
Every day.
Yeah. And for those of us who feel like, hey, I don't have time, I'm jumped up into that. Okay, for the most of us, now maybe during the pandemic we don't do it every day, but we take a shower, we take a bath, right?
Right.
Okay, I'm just being real here. Okay,
that's what we do on here. We be real, family.
Yeah. I take a shower every day. Okay, so one of the things that I do is I meditate in the shower. I love there's a scent that it's called orange ginger, and
I love
that,
orange ginger.
I do orange ginger, and I put it in my hand. This is while I'm in the shower and the water's running over me, and I do a meditation. I rub my hands together, and the water's running, and I just take and I breathe in, and I breathe out, and I do that every day. And I can almost immediately feel whatever tension that has been in my body when I jumped in that. All the thoughts that I had, oh, I got to do this when I get out of here. I have all these lessons, all these things I need to do. But immediately I can feel a peace come down on me. Now, what I can do is I can let you guys do like a 1 or a 2 minute meditation so that you'll see exactly how it goes. So if you let me do that, I can. I don't know if you
let's get our people ready. I want to get our people ready though, right? Because look, y'all ain't just gonna sit up there and watch us meditate. You think this is? So wherever you are, get yourself set. Look, even those of you who are driving, pull your behind over. We just talked about that. 1 or 2 minutes.
Don't
get on the
meditate and
side.
drive.
If you're in the hood, drive a little bit further, then pull over.
I got my oil.
You at, right? No, really, family. See, because if you don't participate,
and I see that Sister Kalila has her cream. She has her stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
And so what I want you to do is I want you to, if you are able, like you said, if you're in a car, you can't do this, but just remember this and do this. So the very first thing I want you to do is do what Sister Kalila did, and that is to get something that smells good. I use like a little orange ginger cream, and I put it in my hand, and I take it and I rub it together, and I kind of breathe it over my face. Okay. And so we're gonna do what's called a practice sit, and I want you to get comfortable. If you're sitting in a chair, whichever you're comfortable, you can sit in a chair, you can sit on a bed, you can sit on a mat, however it's comfortable with you. But I want you to keep your head and your neck straight, but not stiff. And I want you to take deep breath and become aware of your actions. I want you to focus on where you feel anxiety. Some people feel it in their shoulders. Some people feel it in their chest or their stomach. Others feel it like their heartbeat. But I want you to place your hands wherever you feel tension, wherever it is that you have that tension. I want you to kind of throw out those distractions. And I'm going to ring a bell, and I'm going to guide you through this. And what I'll do is I'll ring the bell, and then I'll bring you back with that same bell. So I want you to throw out the distractions. If you're distracted, don't worry. Just simply guide your thoughts back and focus on where your hand is placed. I want you to listen to your breathing, close out any other thoughts, and let's do that body scan. I want you to imagine a soft, warm light over your head. And using that light as a guide, let it relax your scalp, relax your eyes, your mouth, your neck, your shoulders, your abdomen, your thighs, your legs, and you feel that light coming from the top all the way through. Now take a breath and hold it. Then I want you to release that breath slowly, concentrating on each part of your body. We're going to inhale and exhale 5 times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Slowly exhale. Inhale. And then slowly exhale. Feel that light over your head. Feel the peace that it brings as it comes through your body. Now slowly come back as we come from this state. That a little better?
That was just a couple of minutes.
That's just a couple of minutes. Yeah. Yes. Someone said lemongrass, frankincense. Yes. Absolutely.
Wow. Family. And I hope some of you all participated with that.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of things that you can do to learn mindfulness. YouTube.
Right. And the echoing is not part of the mindfulness training, family. We just wanted you to know that was just a part of our collective energy creating something, but it sounds like it's gone now.
I was gonna say, yeah.
We just made it go away.
Ooh, that's it. You just had to say it, Brother Loud.
Being it is.
Yeah. But I told you, mindfulness literally saved my mind and my life. I would sit sometimes, and in fact, I'd go and I'd sit sometimes and just take a deep breath and say, whatever they say, I am not going to allow it to interfere with my peace of mind, regardless of who it is. Okay. And once I incorporated that, I actually went to my doctor's office and he said, I never had real serious high blood pressure, but he said, your blood pressure is down. And I said, it's because I've been meditating and teaching myself to not allow outside influences to dictate my body temperature, both mind, body, and soul.
Well, Rita, take a minute and just talk about, because we got some brothers and sisters listening in, and they always they think they know everything, right? They already know what meditation is, because they studied it. What you've been doing a great job defining what meditation is. Based upon the myths that we've taken in, what is meditation not?
Well, a lot of people think that meditation has religious overtones, and it does have some Eastern background, but it does not include you believing in anything particular. It does not preclude you from saying, okay, you believe Allah, I believe Jesus, I believe God, because what it is, it's a benign system that is developed to help regulate the body and the mind and to put them in correlation with one another. So when people say to me, oh, well, that's a religion. No, it's not. It does have some Middle Eastern background, but it does not include you adhering to any particular kind of religion. It is simply calming your mind and being the person that you need to be in order to be more effective, period.
Wow. So powerfully said. And, I know our time is going to be winding down soon. And we're looking at this from so many different aspects, right? So to all of us who are tuned in right now, okay, we got you, we with it, but give us some tips on how to take this to our friends and to our family and to Jughead and Mughead who don't want to listen to nobody else.
I think one of the best ways to do it is to tell them, like I told the kids, I'm going to give you a superpower. You see how you got upset with that, and you can find examples of when they get upset about something, or they want to fight somebody, whatever. That may work for a minute, but what does it do to you? How do you help yourself? How do you help other people? Before you can do that, you got to help yourself. You got to be in control. You want ultimate dominability? You be in control of you before you try to control anybody else. So if you can't control you, how you gonna control somebody else?
That's right.
Okay.
Wow. Beautiful point. Could we do this too? Because you had a point, Sister Michelle. Or you were just saying that part. That was right.
No, I was saying that part right there.
That part. Right? Let's do this, Sister Kalita. The short 2-minute video that kind of does like a scientific connection as to the YouTube piece as to what meditation is and what it does to the brain and the body. Could we show that? And then I would like for Retha to respond to that particular video piece, because family, you're getting a lot. You're getting science, you're getting practicality, you're getting in touch and in tune with self, mind, body connection. And I think,
comes to
put it together
food
well.
and supplements your body.
Respond to Ms. Retha.
I think Kalila's trying to get it set up.
Yep.
That's right, Carisha. We can't. One thing that we can't control is anyone. We can definitely control ourselves.
That's right.
Right. Excellent point.
Thank you for joining us, sis.
Excellent point. And I want you all to look at the information down at the bottom of the screen here, because you have an ability to get in contact with Retha after this conversation this evening. It's been scrolling across the screen on the bottom, and we all know that our community is far, far, far behind in using these type of practices and principles that work well.
Yeah, very often, like you and I do the same thing. When we go places, we're probably one of the few people of color in the room.
That's right. So check this out, family.
For thousands of years, people have practiced meditation for spiritual, emotional, and physical well-being. But from a scientific perspective, how exactly does meditating affect your body? Does it really do anything? It all starts in the brain. During meditation, brain scans see increased activity in regions directly correlated with decreased anxiety and depression, along with increased pain tolerance. The default mode network in particular is activated when one's mind is at rest and not focusing on the outside world, and has been found to improve memory, self-awareness, and goal setting. Want to be more caring to your friends and family? When scientists compared the brains of Buddhist monks to new meditators, they found the region of the brain associated with empathy to be much more pronounced in the monks. It also literally changes your brain waves, and we can measure these frequencies. Meditators have higher levels of alpha waves, which have been shown to reduce feelings of negative mood, tension, sadness, and anger. And if that wasn't enough, it also physically changes our brain shape and size. Studies found that after 8 weeks of a meditation program, gray matter was more dense in areas associated with learning, memory processing, and emotion regulation. And yet the amygdala, which deals with stress, blood pressure, and fear, had decreased gray matter. When we look at the entire body, not only do we see decreased blood pressure, but it can also increase the variability of your heart rate. And while this may sound harmful, it actually plays a critical role in properly transporting oxygen and carbon dioxide throughout your body. Think you're getting sick? In a study where both meditators and non-meditators were given the flu virus, meditators were able to produce a greater number of antibodies and had increased immune function. If we go a little deeper, we can even see changes on a cellular level. Your chromosomes have protective protein complexes called telomeres, which help reduce damage to your DNA and lower cell death. And a shortened telomere length has been linked to several diseases such as cardiovascular disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and cancer. Amazingly, when cancer survivors completed a meditation program, their bodies showed significant increases in telomere length. It's believed that psychological intervention, particularly decreasing stress, has a direct effect on the enzyme telomerase, which has been shown to counteract shortening by adding DNA to the shrinking telomeres. Of course, meditation is not a substitute for other medical advice or a healthy lifestyle. We don't want you leaving this video thinking it will cure cancer. But much like hitting the gym can grow your muscles and increase your overall health, it seems that meditation may be a way of working out your brain with extra health benefits. And since your brain controls, well, all of you, why not relax and say, every once in a while. And if you like working out your brain, be sure to get our ASAP Science book, which is now available for pre-sale at asapscience.com/.
That's good.
Yeah, we're giving them a commercial.
Right. Give them a shout out.
Could you respond to the lay person with all that?
Oh my God.
Jargon? We heard that. What do you have to say after that to kind of take us to understand it from the scientific realm to the practical, please?
Well, basically, when you start looking at the science of meditation, just like the video is saying, when you start talking about the amygdala and the frontal brain, and what happens is you have the brain here, the amygdala, and when you pop your top, it's because you've allowed that to move open and not be not meditate. You know, you calm down, you bring yourself back in, and like the video says, there's a science behind meditation that has been proven, and that's where Jon Kabat-Zinn comes in, along with his proof that you take the guesswork out of doing it because you know that it works.
Can I bear witness to something, Brother Lyle? It's just, I know that every time that I would, I'm in the classroom all the time. I mean, now it's a bit different, you know, a lot different because we're wearing our mask and everything. But at least most of us are. But pre-pandemic, I bear witness to this because if I'm having like a day where I'm very upset, or I'm just sad, or, you know, I'm just in a very negative emotional state, and that's the moment that I'm most susceptible to getting something that the children have, something that my students have, something, you know, and stuff is floating around all the time. And those are the times where I get sick. That, or when I don't get enough rest. And so that has an integral part in our immune system, and we have to bear in mind that it is our mind state oftentimes that dictates whether we're going to be well or we're going to be sick.
Wow,
that's beautiful. And you hit a mark, Sister Rita, that really a lot of people who suffer from high blood pressure,
right,
that I think really need to take a page out of what you just specified, why it's important to meditate, because it's important, because people think that medication is the key to lowering the blood pressure, but medication only is the maintenance. It's not the healing, right? It's not the killer, because right now it's basically indicating that meditation is healing. So and especially if it's a practice, right? It's a practice, and we have to be mindful that when we practice things, just like, for instance, when you're talking about, you know, if you want to be great, in order for you to be great, you have to practice at it. And we have to practice at meditation. So I think that was very key when it comes down to certain elements that you can actually fight towards by just doing meditation. It's beautiful.
And I'm telling you that morning procedure works, because if you do not calm yourself down even before you walk out the door, it makes a huge difference. When I do that, I call it my shower meditation. When I do it, it's almost like every morning I can just feel the stress level just go down. It really does. It makes a huge difference. And I find myself doing it like every day, every single day.
You know, I want our listeners to think about right now all of your friends, co-workers, family, people who you care about who left one day and never came back. And the reason why they left one day is because they were going about their normal so-called regular routine, not realizing all the stressors that were building up, and then something happened that day. All of our brothers and sisters that are in the hood or hood adjacent, how many arguments, fights, disagreements, hell, knife and gun battles would dissipate if our people had regular, natural, because I'm listening, you can do it on the shower, you can do it on the bus stop. I mean, you can do this anywhere, family. So I'm just so thankful. I just had to get that out. I don't know if somebody else want to say something as we take our final rounds.
I have something. I do. I have something. Rita, you know, I think about, you know, also too, when I was learning meditation, and sometimes what helps me when I meditate in the morning is I try to focus on something, whether I play like vibration sounds in the morning, so that I can tune up my vibration as I'm meditating. Or I may, if I don't put that on, I may focus on maybe my air conditioner or something to focus on so that I could get my mind to settle down. So is there any other things that you would recommend to someone to maybe to help them as they're starting their journey into meditation on how to go into it? So because that's what works for me, but I don't know if that would work for everyone else.
Some people, if they're able to do it and not do it in silence, they can use like soft music. I'll use like maybe jazz music in the background, just to kind of bring things to not. And something else that I started doing too is if I'm driving in the car, sometimes I just turn the radio off.
Oh, I hate
I
the
don't,
radio.
especially if it's what I call, stupid stuff. And I just cut it off. And
Demeditation.
I don't want to go there. Okay. But I'll just turn it off and I'll just be in my own head. And I'll think, there are things that I know I need to be doing, but for right now, this is my quiet time. This is me getting to where I need to go. This is me just listening to my own thoughts. And if I do have some music on, it's very quiet, it's subtle. And sometimes I'll even sit in the house and listen to like the bells. Like there's meditation sounds that you can do. And if you can YouTube it. And there's, quiet meditation. You listen to, like, for example, I listen to one where the ocean just kind of comes in and out, and the birds, and I can imagine myself on the beach walking in the sun, and I feel the sun on my skin, and I feel, and I'm just walking and thinking of all of these things just to kind of bring stuff back. I got to do a real quick commercial, because when you were talking, Brother Lyle, about people arguing and things, I have a book that I wrote, and I see you have it down here. It's called That Doesn't Smell Sense. And I'm not pushing it because I want people to understand. I didn't write the book.
No. This we push.
No. Hear me out. I mean, if you want to buy it, it's another thing. But I didn't write it to push it out. The book, there's a chapter in the book called "It Takes Two Fools to Argue."
Whoa.
And the way I learned that lesson was, it takes two fools to argue, and from a distance you can't tell which one is the fool. Okay.
Ooh, teach.
So that's part of my learning process. And like I said, the book, it is available on Amazon, and it's called
What's the title again?
That Doesn't Smell Sense.
Somebody put that in the chat for us. That doesn't smell.
That doesn't smell
like that
sense.
Doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't smell sense.
Exactly.
All right.
I got that title because I had an auntie, and she, unfortunately, she was 94. She passed in 2021. And I would go to her different times, and I would say, her name was Aunt Lita. And I'd say, Aunt Lita, something happened, blah, 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 and whatever. And I'd explain to her, and she'll say, that doesn't smell sense. In other words, it didn't make sense, And so when I started writing these, what I call pearls of wisdom, ancestral pearls of wisdom, and I started thinking, how did I learn that lesson? How did I learn that it doesn't smell sense? What happened to me? And there were lots of things, and we all do it. We grow up, and our parents say things, our grandparents, aunts, uncles, and everybody, and they have these sayings, and you say to yourself, what are they talking about? Until you experience it. And there's one, my favorite chapter in the book is the last chapter. It's called God Don't Like Ugly. Okay. We've all heard it.
Absolutely.
We've all heard it. Okay. And so what I did is I took where I learned those lessons and how I learned those lessons, and I put it in that book. Very short book. It's not like 300 pages, like 90 pages. But to me, it's passing information along that our ancestors gave us. Okay. And, it makes a huge difference.
Wow.
I'm
listening to you. I just want to say this real quick and come right to you, Brother Tony.
Yes, sir, my brother.
Sister Retha, you're making a huge difference. And I would have never thought in a million years that we'd have opened up our program about meditation and mindfulness with a quote from our beloved sister, Sojourner Truth.
Come on.
Right.
You know, beautiful. Brother Tony?
I just wanted to put up the picture of the book.
Oh, please do that, my brother.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow,
Boom.
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
There's the book right
We
there.
don't play here at the Seven Region Coalition, sister.
Oh yeah,
we
we
don't play
on
around
time now. We on time because we
on
definitely we all about promoting. We all
I
about
see
promoting,
that.
sis.
I see
Get your
that.
copy.
I
Get
see
your
that.
copy.
Beautiful,
I see that.
beautiful, beautiful. That doesn't
Yeah,
smell
and that
sense. I
and that
love
actually is part one. I'm working on
Mhm.
part two now
Look at that.
because there were so many of them. I had to just put a stop and say, let me just go ahead and just get this out. And
Mhm.
so now I'm working on part two. Okay.
Mm. I know we got to wind down soon here, but could you just, because I'm listening to this now, and a lot of this is coming from our people. So
Yes.
it's like we've been doing some of these things all along, but just didn't know we were doing
Yes.
them. Could you,
Exactly.
and you know, the Seventh Region Coalition is all about saving lives.
That's
Could
right.
you give I know you gave us your testimony about how it saved your life, but someone that you may have introduced mindfulness or meditation to, and it literally played a role in saving their life. Any kind of testimony about you introducing this work and seeing the fruits of it come back?
I really can't think of anyone right offhand. The only thing that I can think of right now is what happened to me when I introduced mindfulness to those kids at the Children's Initiative.
Mhm.
One
And
of
let
the
me give a
young
backdrop before you say that, because I don't want people to Miami Children's Initiative is modeled after the Harlem Children's Zone and is in one of the most hot spots that you could have a hot spot in, if y'all get what I'm saying. So I want you to think about the beautiful children we're talking about, Bebe, Quetta, and all of them. That's
Right.
who Miss Reed is
Yep.
talking
They
about right now.
now.
Yeah. Baby now, okay?
Right.
I had a young lady who was what one of the teachers told me, actually was a young man. And when I asked her to give me a group of kids, she gave me about 7 or 8 kids, and each one of them had a story. And one of the stories that resonated with me was a young man who she told me a few weeks before had attempted to jump off the second floor of the school because he was depressed about something. And I didn't get into all the details, and I started talking to him. And about the second session we got together, he came to me and he said, I don't want to be in this class anymore. And I said, well, you hurt my feelings because I really was enjoying your company. So he kind of looked at me and he said, okay, all right. I said, do you think you'll come back, when I come back tomorrow? And he said, I'll think about it. So I talked to the young lady that was the administrator, and that's when she gave me the background and told me, that he had been depressed and everything. The next day he was out and I got a little worried. But when I came back on the 5th day, he came. And not only did he come, he brought a friend.
Ah,
And he said, and I hugged him and I said, oh, I'm so glad you came back. I said, I wondered if everything was okay. He said, yeah. And he said, and I have somebody that I brought to the class too.
Right.
That to me, you could not pay me the amount of money for what I felt for him. Now, that's not to say that I worked all these miracles and, everything, but I'm going back, like I said, to see them again this week. And I can't wait to put my arms around these kids. I really can't.
Miss Reetha, you brought me to a moment where I got
Yeah.
to talk to our peoples for a quick second here, because you took me a couple places. And how dare we
Yeah.
watch our children suffer and don't introduce them to that which they need? Oh, I had chills when you were talking about that.
Yeah. Me too.
Because many, we already know what our young people are going through, and we don't know what our young people are going through. But if we introduce them to mindfulness, we introduce them to the power and practice of meditation. It didn't just, I'm gonna say it, it didn't just save that one young brother's life, but he gave life. One who was about to bring death to himself brought
Yeah.
life to
Somebody
somebody else.
Yeah.
Come on,
He brought
family,
that
wake
young
up.
man. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and I was just talking to Sister Michelle, because we have a serious suicide alarming rate that's going on with our young people, mainly between the ages of 12 and like 20, like
25,
27,
26.
28. You know, there is, and I was telling her, like, and you mentioned it, and people, I think people missed it, but when you acknowledge and you gave him an assignment, will I see you? I want to see you next week. Can I see you next week? I would like to see you.
Not get out my face.
Not get up, but I want to see
Not
you.
go in your room.
So now, again, back to the mind. Now he has put it in his mind calendar. I can't disappoint her. She wants to see me. Nobody never wanted to see me.
See me.
She wanted to see me. So I'm going to make it my business to see her. Because that day would have probably been the day that he would have committed suicide. But because you put a mind calendar on his mind,
Sister Khalil showing off.
you spared a life.
Right. That's right.
And this is what we have to be mindful when we're dealing with our children.
Right.
When they make those calls, you never know when those calls might be the last call. Right? So we have to be mindful and say, you know, when you get, because you know your children, and you know the temperament when they call you and say, hey, Mama, I got to talk to you about something. All right, baby. Well, right now I'm busy, but hey, do you need me right now? Oh, no, ma'am. I can wait, but hey, let's do dinner. Now I'm putting the mind calendar. What time, Mama? Anytime. Friday good for you? Perfect. So that moment when she said, okay, well, I'm going to take my life. My mom, I got to meet my mom for dinner on Friday.
Right.
So I can't do it. We have to be mindful of the mind and how it plays, because we can switch it off in a minute. But because somebody loves us and showing us that they love us, and we don't want to disappoint. That was beautiful, sister.
And all of us
that's
have
the
people
key.
in our circles that need that, Sis Kalila. All of us. Nobody escapes.
All of us.
That was a very good analogy.
The perfect one out there right now listening, right? The perfect one. You have people in your, since you're so perfect and you got together already, you meditate every day. There's people in your circle that need this.
Yeah.
Everybody, children, everyone. Because I just like you all, you know, I got a hothead, right? My middle son's a hothead. No, really, he's a hothead. But, you know, I try to tell him different things, right? You know, meditation is one. But, you know, I tell him, I said, if you're having a moment and you can't get a hold of yourself, go take a walk.
Right.
But I said mindful, right? That mindfulness, that mindful walk. I'll tell him things like that. Or I see, and so, because sometimes you can't deal with everything at that moment.
Right.
But you got to let them come take it down for them to deal with it. And that mindful walk, or I said, I just tell them, go take a run. Right. Or I think we learn this, and we all do this. Sometimes it's better just go to sleep. Go take a nap.
Ooh, that's me.
Take a nap. Get it off you, right? When you wake up, the charge has now reduced, and it allows the mind to take it down, and then you can go into those different things. But and really for myself and for my children, this is why I got into it myself, because I needed to learn how to figure out how to I had a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. I had to bring it down. So I had to figure it had to work for me. So I'm just thankful. This is my topic. I love it.
Yes.
So you bringing so much to the table.
Right.
It's
So
I'm
look,
just thankful.
because I know some folk are going to have to go get some meditation in tonight, so we want to begin to land this
Right,
meditation
wind
thing.
You gotta
Right?
land the plane.
So
Right,
before we
Lord.
go to our tree of the week, I want to give Sister Retha an opportunity to say whatever you want to say. See, whoever's listening out there right now, and they're going to share this message, and thousands of people are going to hear this on the topic of the power and practice of meditation. What say ye your closing words, dear sis?
I would like to, first of all, thank you guys for the opportunity
Oh, it's been our
to
honor.
appear. And I'd also like to say to Brother Tony, I understand that you have one of the most important jobs there is as an educator.
Yes.
And I want to commend you for that. And I want to also say to all of you that I deeply appreciate the opportunity. And I'm going to make you laugh because my husband is looking at me crazy because he cooked dinner.
My bad, man.
Awesome.
You better eat that in 1 second, brother. We almost finished, brother. She'll be right there, brother. She'll be right there, brother.
and he said, and it's good too. But you know, I always say, you know, if I give you some pearls of wisdom and I give you a laugh, then that is my purpose for being here. All right. But thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay.
And enjoy your dinner.
Yes.
Your
And
husband.
thank him
Yes.
for allowing us the beautiful gift of you on this evening,
Thank
my
you.
dear sister.
Thank you. I
Indeed.
appreciate it. All right.
Much love, my dear sis. Bless you.
Bless
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Sister.
Now, I don't know how to
Retha.
leave.
Okay.
Okay.
Sister Khalil will kick you. No, I'm not
not
gonna
gonna
kick
survive. Not gonna survive.
That's
right, you
Retha.
got her?
Y'all got that, right? That's Retha.
Sister Retha.
Without the A, right? Without the A, how she said, without the A, without the voice, and without the money, but she sure has a calling.
Yes.
She does.
She has a calling, family.
Namaste.
Wow.
Namaste.
Namaste.
All right.
Look,
Wow.
they're feeling all tingly inside. Go
Right.
ahead.
Yeah. That was very beautiful. I really enjoyed that. And of course, duh.
What say ye be the tree of the
Tree of the
week?
week.
Tree of the week.
Tree of the
What else could
week.
the tree? Everybody should be guessing the tree of the week by now.
Right,
If you ain't
just-
guessing
right,
it by
right.
now, then you just
Let's start with the letter M.
You
Brother
should know
like
what
Sesame
the tree
Street.
of the week
Oh, look at
is.
you. Right. Oh, meditation.
Duh.
Look at, it says
Right.
meditation.
Just in case you didn't know.
Just in case you didn't know.
Just in case.
And Brother Lau, you actually you touched on it. You actually have an article that you shared. It was a very beautiful article in regards to meditation, and it was the benefits of meditation dealing with the physical body, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to just go through some key elements, because it's 10 meditation methods that benefits the physical body.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one, it specifies that it actually reduces stress. Now our sister did mention about how our stress levels are right now at this moment, and this is a beautiful way to pretty much reduce stress.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So of course, if you do reduce stress, you reduce dis-ease, which is a disease. So we have to keep in mind that meditation can help us reduce stress, right?
Yeah.
The other thing is meditation can increase emotional awareness.
Say that again.
That's right. Listen.
It can increase emotional awareness. You know, as they use that term where how they had the monk over here and you had the other person over here. it channel the monk who deals with more meditation. They're more empathetic than your average person because they practice meditation on a day-to-day basis. So it increases the emotional awareness. I empathize with you, right?
Yeah.
So that's very beautiful.
Sister Kalila, could emotional awareness not just make us conscious, more sensitive and aware of what other people are feeling, but also ourselves?
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. You
That
got to
is
start with
extremely
self.
important.
Right, you got to start with self.
We have
you got to start with self. You
Yeah, like-
can't you can't start outward. You have to start inward in order for it to come outward. You know what I'm saying? And that's anything. It has to start from within, because if it starts from out within, that means that it's kind of, it can become an artificial type element that's not sincere.
Well said.
You feel like a cray moment coming, like
Right.
okay,
It's
give me a
it's what
moment.
we call scripted.
Right.
It's
Say a
very
prayer,
scripted. Right.
meditate.
Exactly.
That's right.
Now I'm good.
Right.
Sister
Exactly.
Michelle, can you drop that article in the chat so folks can follow along?
I was gonna say I'm typing in the remedies. After we go through the remedies, I'll drop the link in there because I'm putting, as she's talking, I'm putting it in so the audience can have it right there.
Absolutely. And then the one, and I'm gonna go real quickly too. Meditation can it deals it actually is a what you call it, anxiety treatment. So when you're dealing with meditation, it actually helps with anxiety. Every other person in this world deals with anxiety.
My.
Right. Some form of
And I'm just, that's how powerful anxiety is.
Right.
And that is actually one of the number one mental diagnoses that psychologists deal with, and especially with children. Anxiety, but meditation helps the treatment of that. All right.
Kalila, we're not talking about the pandemic tonight so much, but a recent study came out. I don't have it with me right now, but in a recent study, it noted that the majority of people that have caught COVID-19 and have dealt with severe ailments, one thing that they have in common is anxiety. That experience of anxiety has played such a strong part in experiencing such strong symptoms, if you will, after catching COVID.
That's very important, because again, anxiety it gives the body not even a chance to think positive.
That's right.
It's a negative ramification that it feeds on the body, and it starts eating you within, because you don't see the light at the
You're
end.
making yourself sick.
Right, you're making
That's
yourself
correct.
sick.
I remember growing up, Sister Kalila, like when I did something bad as a child,
right,
and then my mom brought me in front of her, and I was like, I was there in tears, crying. And then she looked at it, stop. I think it just made it worse. She just started screaming at me like, stop crying. You're going to make yourself sick.
You're gonna make yourself sick, right? That's right.
Start meditating, or you're going to continue to be sick, family.
Right.
That's right.
All these reasons and proofs that you got. Come on.
Right. So the next one here is meditation strengthens the mind-body connection. Like Sister Retha said, your mind is what I have it here. It says, and this is from our dear sister, it is the mind that makes the body.
Sojourner Truth.
It is the mind that makes the body. So meditation strengthens the mind-body connection. You ever seen a person that is in a body? You know what? Let me. This is a very good scenario. I don't know.
Be here for another hour.
No. This is going to be real quick. Because I'm a Kill Bill person. I love Kill Bill, right? And so it was a scene, right, where the lady was actually the main character, but she was actually, her whole body was just numb, right? But she was telling her mind, move the toe. So each time she started, actually dictating to her body on what to do, it started reacting to it. So that's how powerful the mind is. But I'm moving on.
That reminds me of the movie.
She digresses.
Yeah. I'm moving on.
You know what I'm talking about? In Ghost, he's trying to make the things. I mean, they didn't really have their body, but they're trying to make things move.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, you didn't watch Ghost.
Never mind. I watched Ghost.
I'm trying to make things move too, but it ain't working.
Oh Lord. Next one. The next one. Okay. Moving on. Meditation can reduce memory loss.
How about that one?
Beautiful.
Meditation can reduce memory loss. All right. Moving on.
Wait, before you move off of that one, right?
Yes,
a lot of people need that one right there because you're gonna forget. This is my third booster, my fourth, my fifth, my sixth. Because you gotta work on that memory loss, family. I just slide that in there, Work on that memory loss.
All right. Meditation can improve your attention span.
Come on.
This is a good one for me. Because I'm telling you, don't get me bored because my mind going somewhere else. I'm doodling in my mind. But meditation can improve your attention span. All right. And of course, she went over where it says meditation may lower your heart rate and your blood pressure. All right. Meditation as a treatment for addiction.
Listen.
Okay.
Right.
That makes sense.
Meditation can reduce chronic pains. We just went over an actual example when sister told us to touch the part that affected us.
Right.
So that's a part of the meditation process, right?
Can I bear witness to that, Sister Kalila?
Absolutely.
About Brother Loud, do you remember when I caught the chicken pox?
Yes, I do, brother. How could I forget that? Who could ever forget seeing Brother Tony with the chicken pox?
Look, this is the crazy part. I'm gonna share this, in public. I was misdiagnosed. There was a doctor that came to did a home visit. He misdiagnosed me, gave me a cream. Oh no, this will make it go away for a couple of days. I was treated with, like he said, it was molluscum something. I forgot what the name of it was. And then in a couple of days, it had not dissipated; it had increased. And I'm like, "What is this?" And I went to a dermatologist. I was like, "Look, tell me what this is." They told me this is the chicken pox. So I got rushed to the hospital. Wow. I got rushed to the hospital. It had spread so bad. The doctor was like, "Man, looks like you're gonna be here for a month," and they were being serious. No, but they did something where they got rid of it very quickly.
Crazy.
However, during that time, I was just sitting there focusing on my breathing. Focusing on my breathing. And the doctors and the nurses came in like, "Oh my God." Like,
maybe you got rid of it. Maybe they didn't get rid of it. Maybe you got rid of it.
Maybe. You're like, "You don't itch?" I'm like, "Of course I do." Why aren't you itching? I'm like, "Because I'm staying focused."
Of course I do.
Wow. Like, they've never seen anything like this before. What are you laughing at, Sister Michelle?
All right.
All right. And last but not least, this is a last but not least. Meditation can help you sleep better at night.
Yes, I bear witness to that.
I bear witness to that.
Think about that.
Yeah, I bear witness to that.
All those things you've been trying to pay people for, and it's all right there with you, family.
So yes.
Oh my
beautiful. God. Treat a week. You got that, family?
Treat a week. Treat a week. Treat a week. All right, listen. Okay,
Now,
it's
now the whole
8:40.
world knows what I caught chicken pox.
I know.
No, Brother Tony,
Okay.
you listen. You shared it. Come on now. So about percentage. Anyway,
How old were you?
That was about 12 years. Was it 12 years ago?
So you were an adult with chicken pox.
Yes,
That's why I was
ma'am.
Oh yeah,
serious.
It
yeah,
was,
that-
and I'll tell
yeah,
you
'cause
exactly
it's
how it
every year.
happened. It was 2 honor students that they were walking around the whole school with chicken pox, didn't tell anybody, and then they were caught. You're like, you ain't supposed to be here. But it's so infectious by the time that they were just walking around. I didn't have them in my classroom. They passed by the whole school. They were walking through the whole school. I caught it. I never had a chicken pox before.
Oh yeah,
And
I had them when I was young.
And
Yeah,
this is
I
a
saw
disclaimer:
that.
you can't meditate or breathe the chicken pox away, dear family. But it's
Yeah.
that's a disclaimer.
Right, please don't listen.
Do
We-
not say
do
that
not.
you say
Thank
meditation
you.
can get rid of chicken pox.
Thank
You did
you.
not say that.
The
No.
seventh
Just
reading
let
the
me-
coalition, we ain't say that. Don't play
No.
with us. We
No.
ain't say
Go,
that.
go get a mask. Maybe it won't work. I don't know.
I don't know either. But okay, so listen, family, we are at time. I'm bringing the ship down. We are done for this evening. Listen, we had a good time. We had a good
Yes.
conversation, everyone. I think that was a lot, and I think we all needed it. I don't know
Yes.
about y'all, but
Look like it.
Oh,
Look
absolutely.
like our folk
I
needed it
think
too.
so. I think, but I think when she walked us through the exercises too, it brought a calmness.
It does.
Absolutely.
And it really just gave, and I really hope the audience was actually able to do it with us. And so if you didn't have an opportunity, that's right, Brother Lau. That's right, Sean. Breathe
Right.
in, breathe
And
out.
with baby,
And she said, and what did she call it? The five finger salute?
superpowers.
Oh,
Five-finger
yeah.
salute.
No, no, no.
Superpower.
I'm gonna do it
salute.
with my students, but without the fingers, because they're gonna take it to another level.
Look, you know your babies.
I
but,
know them. I love them, but I know them.
Exactly. But she showed us some really good key things. So I really
Yes.
hope that everyone takes this opportunity to take this particular show and the other ones that we already have on our Facebook page that really give a wealth of information, techniques, solutions, just a lot of thought that has gone into what we're doing and the people that we're bringing to the 7th Region Coalition Thursday Talks. So I humbly thank everyone for hanging out with us, learning something, sharing it. I pray that you share it. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube. Just share it out, please. It can help someone, maybe get them into a better state. We're all stressed out. I don't care who you are or what you're doing. We are all stressed to some degree and probably suffering from other things. So I am your sister Michelle, your moderator for this evening. I thoroughly I love meditation. I love the topic. I love the team that I'm dealing with tonight, right? Our little crew here that we have a good time, y'all. And we just really hope and pray that you really take some of these things that we're giving you as solutions, all out of love, labor of love. So anyway, I thank everyone. Remember, like, share, stroll, like, share. So Brother Lau, I will hand the baton back over to you. You will do the rounds. We'll come back to you, and then we will close out.
Thank you so much, Sister Michelle, our hostess with the mostest family. Y'all know you better be giving us some love now. Don't be hating on the 7 Region Coalition team now, family, right? So just 2 quick things for me. If somebody could just drop into the chat the other article that talks about all of the mental health ailments that are affecting Black people way worse than anybody else. So they can have that in there for the record to look through. Because after you look through that and you see that we've offered you a solution tonight, family, you really got to put it into practice.
Right.
I need somebody else to pull up in my closing remarks that beautiful picture of that beautiful man that's going to be speaking to some beautiful people on February the 27th. There it is right here.
Oh, there
Now,
it is.
I got to be honest with you, family. I can't stay too long on this because that title, it really does something to me.
That title.
That title, The Swan Song. Let me just say this, dear family. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, along with being a leader, a teacher, a guide sent from and made by God, he's also been a personal mentor.
Yes.
And when you see a title like that, it lets you know that the teacher's about to let the students go on their own.
That's right.
I wouldn't encourage anyone to miss that message for anything except you have to attend your funeral.
It's mandatory, brother.
February 27th, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan Savior's Day address entitled The Swan Song. I will leave it there from now and pass it to my beloved sister Kalila.
You know what? I wanted to add to that. You know,
Please.
this brother, his name, I have to give him a shout out. His name is Brother Jeffrey. He's Brother Jeffrey B. Muhammad. He's one of my friends on Facebook. And he actually highlighted, because there is a movie that's titled The Swan Song. And it's a brother, one of our black brothers. He's a character, and the brother had an internal illness. And he was exploring his heart and emotional complex to save his life, save his wife and his son for grief. So he duplicated himself and transferred all of his life memories in a clone without his family knowing anything
Jesus Christ
ever happened to him, so that they would not have to experience any pain or sorrow after his original self is no longer present.
Wow.
I read that and I cried.
Wow.
I cried.
Interesting.
It's something that this brother strongly recommended that we watch. And it's needed, because there's going to be a lot of sorrow and pain. People are not going to know how to handle the absence of our father. But he said, don't fret, because I will be restored.
You missing that message, family? It's like you missing your final instructions from God. That's like missing your final instructions from God.
So I am going to pass this to Brother Tony. I'm done for the night. I'm done.
That was a mic drop, Sister Kalila. I wasn't ready for that one.
Beautiful job.
I was not ready for that one.
Well, family, it's time to go. We thank you for tuning in. As always, it's always an honor and a pleasure to bring these awesome programs to you. This awesome advice that we hear from many of our guests, and all of our guests, really, as we're trying to get our people safely at the end of this pandemic, at the end of this condition that we are experiencing here in America. We have to get our people safely over to the other side. And so we thank you for tuning in tonight. It's a blessed honor and a pleasure.
All right. Well, Brother Laugh.
Only one thing left to do after that. That's the
Here it comes.
finger salute plus the 2.
I'm not going to. Time to go, family.
Love you all.
Love you too.